love it when I open up Audacity, it doesn't immediately crash. You know it's going to be a good day. No babies are dying today.
Today was a good day.
Hello, my friends.
Let's go.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 2 of 2026. I'm Chris Louie, and likely sad because the 49ers got knocked out of Super Bowl contention.
How's that? They didn't get knocked out. They're just got to play 3 games to get there.
They will. I'm assuming when this podcast goes out, we will likely be knocked out.
Oh, come on, man. They're playing. Who are they playing for? Chicago?
The Eagles. They're playing the Eagles, and half our
defensive
line
that's
is
easy.
gone.
They've beat them. Everyone has the Eagles number now. So
I think we're at a 4-1 underdog, I believe, on Kelce.
Really?
Yeah.
Do opposite bet you, but unfortunately I don't bet anymore. My wife told me to stop.
So. You gave that up for New Year's too?
I think she must have listened to our podcast and talked about how much I lost. She was like, nope.
I'm all in on the Niners. F the Eagles, those guys.
49ers faithful.
Yeah.
With me, I have my co-host Uncle Barbecue, who's getting ready to tune his Ford Raptor up to 1,600 horsepower.
Bro, that looks like so much fun. I think they put like a 3.8 liter or 3.1 liter like supercharger on top of it, and then they put in dual turbos, different intercooler, and got that son of a gun up to 1,600. I don't know if it was 1,600 horsepower at the crank or at the wheel. Like if you put it on a dyno, that's at the wheel, right?
Yeah, at the wheel would be a lot.
That's insane.
It's pretty sick though.
Yeah.
There was other videos of that guy, and like he so after he was done with it, it was in the garage. He told his wife to start it, and she started it, got out of her truck. She's like, "You're insane. I'm not driving this."
1,600 horsepower. That's a pretty fast truck.
I don't know that it is. I mean, it's fast. I mean, that's supercar power, but like, still, you got that soft suspension, 37s. You're not running it in 2 seconds, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. I don't think. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. That's built more for Baja roads, right? Than it is Baja
for straight
travel,
line.
Right? High wheel travel. Not. For
you can still go fast in it, right? Don't get me wrong. But I do wonder, how much can that transmission take at 1,600 horsepower when it was built for 720? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot.
Before it explodes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot.
Yeah. It sounds insane though. But that would. And what kind of fuel mileage is that one to get? That's got to be
2 miles to the gallon.
5 gallons to the mile.
There you go. Inverse Kramer.
When I can't imagine when you buy a vehicle like that, you're going, I wonder what the economy is of that, the fuel economy is of that truck or car. Like, said no one ever, right? I mean,
not a concern at all.
Yeah.
No, yeah. When I bought my truck, I remember it was like it's smiles per gallon is the only thing I care about.
Yeah,
indeed.
And I'm always smiling in that truck.
Yeah.
And as you can hear, we have Glenn Medina, who just enrolled his son Joey into the Quality Leering Center in Minnesota.
That has got to be the best meme ever. It's like, if you can't see the craziness of what's going on over there, it's amazing. But yeah, the Leering Center, awesome.
All right, 2026. 2 weeks into 2026, we might already have the meme of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by Joey. I know the Leering Center, but I don't know the reference to Joey.
So the investigative reporter Nick Shirley, he goes up to all these like fake Minnesota daycare centers, and he just asks, he's like, I want to enroll my son Joey into the center. Can I have an application? And like all normal questions you would ask like a daycare center, like, what's the process to enroll? Can I get an application? Is there a fee? And they can't answer any of that. It's like, yeah, this might not be above board then.
Makes sense then. That dude doesn't. I think I saw. I don't know. It was like an interview with him, but he said that Elon was like retweeting him a whole bunch. Yeah. He goes, then he followed him back. He sent him a message like, "Hey, thanks for promoting my stuff." And then Elon wrote back to him, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. Elon for all the hate he gets, he's actually a pretty chill guy. Like I remember maybe 3 weeks ago or so, like a random woman on Twitter said, at Elon Musk, like, my mother keeps like bugging me to message you directly because she's having some problem with her Tesla. I know you're not going to see this. You won't respond, but I have to because my mom asked me to. And then he literally responded, it's like, how can I help you? Like, what do you need? and then
that's impressive.
Yeah. Then the woman's like, oh, my mom's Tesla. It was something like her window won't go down or something. And then he just messaged like, oh, yep, just contact this service center and they'll hook you up. Like,
tell him I sent you.
To think. He runs several trillion, well, at least $1 trillion company, $2 trillion companies, several multi-billion-dollar companies, and he still has the time to like post on Twitter and respond to his fans. Like, when does this guy sleep?
No kidding. Speaking of Tesla, and I know we have to like actually do our pod, but I was watching this video of like, it was like the day in the life of an American, maybe expat living in China. And so he's like going through his stuff, and it was actually kind of a long video, but it got me hooked. I was kind of curious what it would look like. He's like, oh, we're walking into this convenience store. It's open 24/7. And they're like in a little bit more of like an English speaking type of town. He's like, you don't need a card. You don't need your phone to pay. You just pay with your biometrics, with your hand. And so like, just put the hand up. He's like, yeah. He's like, I understand what I'm giving up right here, but like whatever. So then he buys some milk. He's riding taking his kids out, little kids, on a bicycle, and they come across like this Tesla charging station. It's actually pretty big, and I was blown away. Like, it was actually a Tesla charging station. He's like everyone thinks that BYD is huge here, but it's like he's like Tesla's got an incredible footprint here as well. I was blown away by that. I mean, it's a huge economy to not enter, right?
Yep, indeed. Just ask the NBA.
Yeah.
All right, on to the show. No guests this week, just us hosts. Combined, we have decades of information security experience, and here not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and sing Auld Lang Syne. This week, we're going to talk about PlayStation 5 Jailbreak, a win for consumer privacy. For our third topic, Teams is snitching on you, and close with social media resolution talk. Now, before we get started, I just got an email from our buddy, friend of the show, Jamie Harris. We've had him on for a few other shows. He is retiring, so we wish him well, and congratulations on your retirement.
What? Get out of here.
Let's go.
Yeah, nice. He's a young dude, but I guess he's decided to retire. So good for him.
Bitcoin hit an all-time low, and he decided to exit out early.
He shorted it.
Yes. Well, hey, man.
I always say when people retire, their meter is broken. Do you know what meter that is?
The give an F a meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, their give a F meter. Yeah. So.
Good for him. We wish him well in his retirement.
It's always one of those things that, looking at it, like I think all of us have a number. I think you might be a little bit further away from yours, Chris, just because the kids are so young and some of the things that you want to get done. But I think if I wanted to live a very modest life, and I think Glenn as well, I think you guys could probably retire right now, and it's not actually that much money is required to do that.
Well, yeah, the problem isn't how much. The problem is how long, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I knew, if everyone had a magic 8-ball about how long, then they could calculate how much they need. The question is, I've run into several acquaintances or friends, and their parents lived longer than the money they had to start with, and they didn't account for things like RV fuel, right? Driving across, and gas went from $1.30 to $5 or $7, and it's like now they just blew their budget away on fuel consumption. So.
Well, and see, that's the part that I say about being modest, because like my parents didn't have a whole lot of money saved from my lens, but they're going to retire, or when they die, they'll probably die with 5 times more money than they actually started with, because you in theory you spend a lot more money up front, and then as your quality of life tends to go down, then the less desire you have to buy crap, right? It kind of goes down the toilet.
Yeah. The less taxes you pay. Other side of it, what's the other side of it too? It's like, if you like grew up the way my parents did, when they're frugal to begin with, right? So if you look at Chris and you close the sphincter probably 10 more times, as far as spending habits, even when they retired, they still weren't spending a lot of money, right? So even though they could, they weren't. So they still had the same spending habits retired that they were when they were still making money.
Yeah.
And the where really matters too, because I mean, conservatively, if I lived in 40 out of the 50 states, I probably could retire. But since I live in such an astronomically high cost of living state with the highest taxes in the nation, I'm probably going to be working till I'm 100.
That's by choice, though.
No, don't say that, man.
You could retire, yeah. You could retire if you wanted to. You just choose to live here, which is a different story.
Yeah.
I think if I would be happy just to live at home and not take maybe a really nice vacation once every other year, but not multiple times a year, and focus in on eating at home and stuff like that, I could probably get away with it since everything's paid for. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of eating at home, I mean, if you look at it, I go out now and I'm kind of disgusted with the way food service has gone right now, right? You go out, you pay, $30-$50 a meal per person, and the meal sucks. The service
Even if
sucks.
it's fast food. Even fast food.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Astronomically expensive.
We're at that point now. I tell my wife, I'm like, we're just going to stay at home and we're going to cook, right? So...
you're about to get a lot of sisig and adobo.
Yeah.
Dude, I went to like two kind of like really nice steak restaurants. One was called STK. And,
STK steak.
Yeah,
That's
it was
Gordon Ramsay,
horrible.
right?
I was like, I actually left them a horrible review and have a phone call with the manager. It just wasn't that good. And then later that week, I went to Dominic's. I don't know if that's a big place or not, but it was probably the best steak I've had in like a decade.
Nice.
And it was like a 40-day aged ribeye. Scottsdale.
What city?
Both of them.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
9-day difference.
Go figure. When I was paying for it, it was a horrible meal.
Yeah, I can tell you, I could probably cook a better steak than 99% of the good steakhouses that are out there.
Oh, agreed.
All right, well,
this one was actually better than me though.
During the security summit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do a steak test challenge. Like each person is responsible for cooking a steak each night. So,
all right, let's do it. Except for VDL, we don't trust the vegan to cook our steak.
Yeah.
All right, for our first topic, Brian finally contributed a story to our run sheet. Gamers kicked off 2026 by news of boot ROM master keys for the PlayStation 5 console leaking online. These are hardware secrets baked into the PS5 chip at the factory, forming the root of its security chain of trust and unchangeable by any software update. Remember, kids, ROM stands for read-only memory. These keys let experts decrypt the PS5's boot process, so turning this encrypted code readable for analysis. And this uncovers bugs for potential jailbreaks, custom payloads, and easier hacks. Now, don't get your hopes up too quick. There's no instant or universal exploit yet, thanks to layered defenses in depth like secure elements and online checks. However, this eliminates the core trust layers and relies more on server-side detection. So when your PS5 reaches out to PSN, they can try and detect if your PlayStation is hacked or not. And there's a rumor that there is a proof of concept jailbreak that requires a physical copy of a specific PlayStation 4 game called Star Wars Racer's Revenge. Copies of the limited run game normally go for about $50 online, but prices spiked over $200, confirming a sudden spike in interest.
Is there any surprise here that it was a Star Wars nerd that's kind of involved in all this?
They figured it out. I know, this is like a limited run game, and for some reason they found out this is the one specific game you need to jailbreak your PS5.
So to your point about the calling out that it's a ROM read-only memory, now PlayStation's over there saying, "Man, we should have did the PROM, right? The programmable read-only memory could have fixed this." But yeah, I think the thing that's the most interesting is like that. I guess it's the boot ROM. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, but
the boot ROM master key.
Yeah,
I thought boot ROMs were possibly updatable as well in many devices, even if they're solid. right?
Like firmware can be flash, but ROM, like true ROM, cannot.
Yeah.
Cannot. Okay.
Yeah, Apple ran into this a while ago. I think it was the iPhone X, so the iPhone 10. Somehow
that's the one Todd still has. Yeah. So
yeah,
Recently upgraded.
Oh yeah.
if you guys remember the checkrain exploit for the iPhone 10, somehow the secure enclave keys got leaked for that, and every update for the iPhone 10 was reverse engineerable because even Apple, $3 trillion company, could not update the keys in this secure enclave. So, I mean, not possible.
As cool as this is, I was thinking about it, like maybe at some point in time you could do like a modded version of the OS. You could play, quote unquote, backed up games. But the reality is, like, a majority of the games you probably play, or maybe I could be completely wrong, are all connected to PSN, right? And so you're there for the online multiplayer ability. So at best, this is going to become like a digital media player that you can play backed up games that have no internet that would require no internet connection. Then you can probably store a bunch of movies, etc. Although I'm pretty sure you probably already do the movie portion of it as well in TV shows, right? You could probably stream movies that you've ripped.
Yeah, it's like homebrew stuff they want. Like, so you could do like emulation. Like, I remember the Xbox, I had to put the mod chip in my Xbox, and I had this state-of-the-art console Xbox, and I was playing like Super Nintendo games on it. And like that's what you could do if you have like homebrew stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm loosely excited for it just because like it just brings me back to the day of like that's kind of a neat thing to actually have happen. A lot of work goes into it, and it's all proof of concept. It's all proof of concept or in theory right now, but eventually they'll get to it. So this is cool. But you said you already named it though. The moment that PlayStation Network can find out that this box has been rooted, it'd be kicked off of there quicker than
it'll be permanently banned.
Yeah. Quicker than you can say molasses. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then like even like the new Call of Duty, so Black Ops 7 is the new Call of Duty. Even like the single player campaign mode requires an online connection. Like they got a lot of heat for that. It's like, why do you need an internet connection to play single player mode? But I think they might start switching to that you have to have this always on internet connection even to play single player games.
Shoot, if you want to do the Lord's work, just do an aimbot for all your online games without detection. Now you're cooking with Crisco.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fears too, is that once you jailbreak the PS5, then because traditionally consoles have been mostly free from cheating. It's not impossible, but not compared to like PC gamers. Like PC gaming is just full of cheaters, and there have been calls for like Call of Duty to make console only lobbies because it's cross-platform, right? So they say you get a PC and console, PC only, console only, just because all the cheaters play on PC.
Victor's a console guy, right? Or
is this just a loss of revenue for Sony, or is this just because of the fact that they get to play a game with unlimited lives, right? So
the fear, I think, from Sony's perspective is it's the printer model, it's the razor blade model. Like a PS5 is like $599, call it $599, but the margins of that are so thin. Sometimes they even lose money. I think even like the Nintendo Switch might even lose money when they sell the console, but they make fat margins on the games. So they want people to buy the console and they make all the money on the games. And if people stop buying games because they either play backups or they use the console for other purposes, like they use it as a powerful Linux box, or they run, let's say you run Steam on it, then that is lost revenue for them.
Maybe when the PS5 first came out, there was razor thin margins, but it can't still be razor thin at this point.
No way. Yeah.
Or do you think it is still razor thin?
That's a good question to ask Grok. What are the gross margins on the PS5 console? I mean, the games for sure are, it's almost pure profit. Like you make the game once, you sell for $70.
So the craziest part about like this quote unquote hack is like it wasn't done with software. It's like it was a physical attack. So they're injecting basically voltage glitching and timing faults to be able to hack this.
Yeah,
so it's not like a USB. Yeah, it's not like a USB hack. Like some dude that has Star Wars all over his basement has a PS5 pulled apart, and he's randomly doing crazy stuff. Like, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
Would you guys have ever thought, like, this is how I'm going to hack anything? I'm going to start doing voltage glitching when the thing boots up. Like, it sounds like I would read about this in the guy's obituary, right? He's like, oh, Brian Deitch was just a basement nerd, neckbeard that was always plugging stuff into stuff that shouldn't be plugged
voltage
into.
Glitching his toys, yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's more common than you think. There are dedicated like security companies that do these like side channel type attacks. Because I know on the opposite side of it, I know a guy that works for a company that sells security to prevent these types of side channel attacks. And sometimes it's just as stupid as the manufacturer left the JTAG ports open or something. Because normally for debugging, you have these ports and they're supposed to be either soldered over or removed when they go into production, and they just forget. Then you just plug into this JTAG interface and you get the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah. So what the heck is this thing called? The Ambernick, whatever I have. Like, so I have this. Yeah.
I got one of those. The R36. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think so. It's got like 30,000 games that I paid for on there.
Mine here.
Yeah. We all got them. So even if you could somehow hack the PS5 and be able to like load PS1 and PS2 and 3, 4 Nintendo games on there and run it, like, would you actually want to? Like, for $80 I bought this thing and I can do that on an airplane.
It's sometimes because you could. You know, why did I play Super Nintendo games on my Xbox? Because you could.
Yeah.
It's a nice experiment.
Someone on in PlayStation is like, here comes the PS6. That's right. Some more money.
Yeah. And then the PS6 has the same issue that they forgot to close out, right? So
you got to turn off the JTAG interface.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes. See if there is a legitimate jailbreak in 2026. There should be a Kalshi bet on that if the PS5 will be jailbroken in 2026 or not.
Did you guys see I don't know if you guys posted it or it was on Twitter. It was like the ultimate money glitch. Like, will Jesus come back in 2026? I'm like, absolutely not. I'll put all my money on that one, guys. I'm going to get rich. Yeah.
Is there is no 98% right now?
Yeah. Was it you, Chris, that shared that, or did you just happen to see it as well?
No, I didn't see it. That one. All right. You and I see a lot of the same things on X. I think we have the same algorithm, but I did not see that one.
We share an account because...
All right, for our second topic, and a win for consumer privacy, the state of Texas has obtained a temporary restraining order against Samsung that prohibits the South Korean company from collecting audio and visual data about what Texas consumers are watching on their TVs. Like other major TV manufacturers, including LG and Hisense, Samsung employs something called Automated Content Recognition, or ACR technology, to capture periodic screenshots, analyze viewing activities, and identify users' content preferences. Of course, this data is used for more targeted advertising. The court noted that users can consent to ACR data collection with just a single click, but details about the program are available only after enrollment and reviewing the privacy statements and disclosures, which require more than 200 clicks.
Another reason... Go ahead.
But we know what's crazy about that is if you click no, you don't accept, you don't get to open the TV. I mean, you can't turn on the TV, right?
They block block using the TV, or they block something. Yeah, I remember because I have an LG TV. I remember I kept clicking no, and it kept bugging, and then it got more intrusive that I think even they just put a banner up, even if I wasn't using the TV feature, which I don't. I use an Apple TV for everything. But there'd be a banner over my Apple TV stuff that says, "Are you sure you don't want to consent and accept these terms?"
Yeah, I mean, look at the iPad now. Like, you reset it, and you have to log in with an Apple account in order to get access.
Buzzy, you guys gonna
same with Microsoft?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the same for Microsoft, right? I mean, you got to have a live account or a Microsoft.
They're getting harder
account.
and harder. Yeah, there were some bypasses for Windows 11 to not have a Microsoft account, but I think they're slowly removing that, and now you have to sign into some kind of Microsoft account to even just boot up a Windows 11 box.
I'm embarrassed to even admit to this, but I remember there was a point in time when maybe it was Windows 98, maybe even XP. I remember when they were doing it had been Windows XP, like the online, like maybe XP1 that had the online key activation.
Yeah.
Like required the internet connection. Like, they're so dumb. They think everything's going to be connected to the internet one day. That's never going to happen. Here we are. Yeah.
I think that was either Vista or I think it was actually 7.
Okay.
That had required the online activation. I think it was 7, and Microsoft Office too.
I think I remember reading about it early on, like that was going to be a thing, but I didn't know. I was like, "There's no way every computer at the office is going to be connected to the internet. They're on cracks." And here we are.
Yeah. Computer, like it's even gone past that. Every device, your watch, your TV,
this G-Shock, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had a Cisco ASA. It was a 5505, and the license was for like 20 internal IPs accessing the internet or something. And then eventually I hit that limit, and I had to buy a license to allow more devices to connect out. And now I probably have like hundreds of devices in the house that have to reach out to the internet.
I will say this is if there's ever a reason to buy an Apple TV, right? Like now this is it, right? Like I will say though, like on the Samsung and the LG TVs that I have, the UI has gotten way better, right? But I will never connect those things to the internet. My old one, like this old TV right here, that I wish I still had it, but this thing is probably 7 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. No, it can't be. But I remember when I first put it back behind Zscaler, and it was doing right in the GRA tunnel to get an update. Like there was an embedded piece of malware. It was just like your device is like beaconing out. I was like, what the hell? And it wasn't it wasn't the update it was trying to pull down. It was like the command and control channel. I was like, what the hell? Just pull that thing off.
The same thing. Yeah, because I have an LG TV. So first of all, I don't use the built-in apps. Built-in apps are crap. Maybe you're right, and it's improved over the years. But for me, I switched to Apple TV. I never looked back. Like Apple has their UI interface dialed in. Like there's no reason for me to use LG apps. But there was a built-in app. I remember it was an app on the LG that would turn your TV into a fireplace. Like you guys know about that. It burns, and it actually the logs turn to ash, and then it resets at some point. It's just nice ambience to have. And then I remember
it also emits enough energy, right? That it's
to heat the house.
Yeah.
But I put the LG TV behind the GRE tunnel, and sure enough, I got a block page. I got a Zscaler block page that says, your TV is reaching out to the Russian Federation. Because I have a block for all websites out of Russia, North Korea, Syria, Iran. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, okay, and not using that fireplace anymore.
Bro, did you guys see the one guy? Let's start this entire sentence over, please, Chris. Did you guys see that YouTube channel that has one video? It's just like fireplace burning for 10 hours. Like the guy is now, it's the only video he's ever put out. And it has like over time, I think since 2012, maybe it's made like $1.7 million.
Yeah.
It's the Yule log, right? And then now there are copiers out there.
Yeah.
So,
Good for him though. Or her.
The YouTube Yule log. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had it playing for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. You can turn your TV into a fish tank.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever do the Raspberry Pi as a TV instead of an Apple TV? Have you guys seen the builds on that? They're like, why would you pay $250 to Apple when you can spend right around about the same amount of money building your own? I'm like, I don't know. But you get, they're like, you get way more features and whatnot. I'm like, no, I'm not into it. I watched the whole video, but I'm not going to do it.
So you remember that old joke how you can have Wi-Fi and then you have to have a Wi-Fi that can have zero downtime?
That's right.
So I follow that methodology. So before we had kids, I used XBMC on the Raspberry Pi. So I used that, and that was fine. But I'm not saying anything about genders or anything. I could figure it out. Other members in my household were not able to figure it out. So I bought an Apple TV, and that was perfect. And it was worth the cost of the Apple TV to not have to do tech support all the time.
I know. I know exactly the conversation you had, and it was that other person saying, "Why do I need a keyboard to operate my TV?"
or this phone app. Open up this phone app, and that's your remote control.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Apple TV that I see is that you can't turn the TV off. I mean, you have to go manually click in there. Is there a button, really? Because mine can turn it on, but it doesn't turn it off.
Yeah, so the power button on my Apple TV powers the TV as well.
Yeah, there's a
interesting.
It's called C. Is it CEC? Is that
It's the ARC port? There's an ARC port. There's a specific HDMI port called the ARC port, where the Apple TV can send a signal to the TV to turn off.
So I don't even have my Apple TV. Well, I go Apple TV directly to the TV, and then I do HDMI ARC to the sound bar. But I can either like hit the power button, or I can say, Apple TV, push the Siri thing and be like, turn off TV, and it just turns everything off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a setting in the Apple TV. So Glenn, go to your Apple TV settings. There should be something that says turn off TV when I turn off Apple TV or something like that.
Yeah. I looked, and it's kind of funny because you have to navigate to settings in order to turn it off, which is like, that's a dumb spot. So it could be an old TV too. So it's so old it doesn't even. Yeah,
I have a 7-year-old LG, and that one even can do it.
No.
Yeah.
Go check.
All right. Figure it out when you get back.
Yeah.
All right. For our third topic, as if Microsoft wasn't hated enough already for forced Copilot integrations, making logging a paid feature, or killing off the MS Paint app, corporate workers have yet another reason. Microsoft is adding a new feature in Microsoft Teams to track a user's physical location using their Wi-Fi access point. Microsoft is pitching this feature as a benefit so coworkers can physically locate another coworker to coordinate. For example, I can know if Glenn's on floor 4 of building 6, and I can run over there and meet him over there. We all know that the feature is really meant to spy on users to help track return to office requirements. Now, some people skirt around return to work requirements by badge surfing and driving to the office just to badge in, then return home, or give their badge to someone else to scan them in. Teams will now report if you're working from the office, working from home, or working from another location. No details yet if you can spoof the SSID or the MAC address of the access point to make it look like you're actually working from the roof.
How about you take your laptop in, plug it in, load up some remote desktop software in there, and just work from there all the time. Like just remote into your desktop.
Just like a true North Korean spy.
Yeah, we're really bridging into the privacy portion over here right now. It's going to be you work for the company, they should know where you are, compared to like, hey, I don't want you to know that I'm in the bathroom. Right? So
yeah, it's one thing to know, like, you're on company time, you should be doing company work. Like, I agree with that. Like, they're paying you to do a job, you should be doing your job. But where you do it from, like, that's sort of we're all adults here. Like, we should be able to be accountable to ourselves.
So
totally agree.
I think this warrants like an entire different series, maybe a topic, or I've been going back and forth if I'm going to record videos and just kind of like post it. But I think I've shared with you guys in the past to do like the Home Assistant, and I loaded up so for the listeners not listening, or the listeners actually listening, Home Assistant is like this open source program. It just is very promiscuous. It works with like all of your IoT crap that you have in your house, right? And like smart things, and God forbid if you had Wink or if you had Apple, like it's all in there. Like it works beautifully. Like one good example is like I have it connected that if it detects that my sleep number bed detects that I'm in bed, then it will turn off the subwoofer to the downstairs, right? That way it doesn't wake me up if the kids are watching something. boom, whatever, roasted. Anyways, I open up load up the app onto my phone, and you can get controls and blah, blah, blah. Great, right? And then one day I'm going through the logs, and I'm like flabbergasted. It's just like, oh, Brian's device is charging, is unplugged, has every focus. Like it's, do not disturb, or it's driving, or it's whatever. It can tell I'm ascending or descending stairs. It can tell when I'm in my vehicle, when I'm out of my vehicle, when I go back and forth between home Wi-Fi, 5G, going into the gym, jumping on the mountainside, fitness Wi-Fi. And I'm like, damn, like if it knows that about me, like this is a free app. Like what does Instagram or other social things out there get? And when you start to look at that, you're just like, not only would it get all this other information, like it gets all that telemetry, but it also knows like how quickly from the moment you woke up, you picked up your phone, opened up the app, you started swiping, right? And watching videos. And it's just like, well, shit, if you went to bed at 2:00 in the morning, now you're up at 6, maybe I should, throw some ads at you for sleeping medication. I have no idea. So I think
some Ambien.
Well, that's the scary part, right? I mean, that's what's totally scary about this whole thing right now.
Yeah.
Is the fact that all this data is being collected. I'm telling you, when I retire, I'm done. I don't even know if I even want a flip phone. So, yeah.
And that's Apple. I'm curious if I should load this up on the Android, I'm curious what the Android device is going to give to me, assuming that I give it more, or quote unquote, the same permissions of Apple. Like Apple's supposed to be a walled garden, but they are pulling my pants down. I'm going to be honest with you. And this is for a free app. What's Samsung going to do? I'm kind of very curious about this one.
The Google built-in stuff. I remember I attended a talk at, I think it was DEF CON maybe 5 years ago, and they were saying, they bought like a bone stock Pixel phone or something, and they couldn't figure it out. Like this phone was just beaconing out to Google every like 3 seconds or something, sending data, and they were finally able to do. I forgot how they did. They did like a man-in-the-middle proxy or something, and it would say that the Pixel phone would report its geolocation down to like the foot, so not like general location, precise location, and it would report
precise logging was turned on,
all the signal strengths of every Wi-Fi access point it was near. And that's to, like, if you've ever used some kind of location tracking software, but you turn off the GPS, but Google still knows exactly where you are. That's how they know. Because it says, well, if this access point is at this strength and this access point is at this strength, we can triangulate you because we know this data from all the data we've ever collected. And it's just beaconing out this data like every couple seconds.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that actually before. Even on my Apple phone, it says turn on Wi-Fi to improve location services. And I'm like, why would Wi-Fi tell you where I physically am? Like, oh, that's why. Because now they can reach every access point, know the signal strength, and based on that, they can triangulate exactly where I am in the world.
I'm going off on a tangent here on just a completely different thing of all the, like, I'm just thinking of all the different things I've done recently. The other one was I put a camera in the dog kennel that's attached to like outside, and one of the dogs, like literally, like kennel, they go in the kennel at like 10 o'clock at night. 2 of the 3 dogs go to sleep. The second one goes outside from like 11 until 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the hell is this dog doing? So I set up a camera outside, and the dog I think it has dementia. It just goes out there and it just sits and just stares. or stands. It's not doing anything other than that for hours on end. It's the crazy.
Maybe it's talking to the ghosts.
Yes.
Ghosts. They're outside.
I think it might be. I'm telling you, it's weird, man. Like, yeah. And of course, the second I leave, it rains, and now the camera is ruined.
Use an indoor camera outside.
Yeah, I didn't have an outdoor one, and I just took one of my extras and threw it out there to see what I would get. So,
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I have a dog with dementia. How about that?
Or a dog that can talk to spirits.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Sees dead people. Great.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, for our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, but not ours. For the first time in history, since maybe not history, but for the first time we've been tracking this, more Americans are giving up social media and trying to quit as their New Year's resolution, surpassing the traditional New Year's resolution goal of losing weight. A whopping 33% of Americans polled said their resolution this year is to use less social media. I do feel like we've hit a tipping point and people are realizing just how addictive social media apps can be. Now, I'm guilty of that as well. I'm often death scrolling through X, which, by the way, the algorithm is very, very on point. But I do get my news and see up to date on current events there. I know both of you are off traditional social media, but you do have kids. So what's the sentiment of Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram these days?
Glenn, I'll let you go first.
Well, I know I try to limit myself to 1 hour a day of death scrolling, and then I end up extending by about 2. But for the kids, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. They're adults now. I stay out of their way, and I really don't get into what they're doing. One of them is actually a social media, a marketing associate for a company, and she does their social media platform. So that's what she does for a living. So she has to be inside there, and she has to be up to date on that, which kudos to her, right? So it'll be interesting to see how she kind of figures out how to divine the line between work and being able to do it personally.
She's up on the memes. She has to stay current.
She is. Yeah, she has to stay current, right? So, yeah.
So speaking of, it's a side topic here, but speaking of like staying current and up to date on the memes, like I was at Universal LA this past week, and they have, you guys remember the Waterworld show there? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. So, it's old. It's like 30 years old now, right? With Kevin Costner. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So Universal has this show based on that Kevin Costner movie, Waterworld, and it's very entertaining. It's stunt performers. They have pyrotechnics and everything, and they integrated a joke which I thought was pretty cool, where the main character asks like, "Oh, how how many times have we been defeated by this Kevin Costner character?" And the bad guy responds, "Oh, maybe 6-7 times." And he did the 6-7 thing. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice."
Nice.
They integrate like those current trends into these things. But yeah, but go ahead.
And the audience, haha.
Yeah, all the kids
right?
snickered, of course.
Yeah. Funny.
I would say, the only social I do is X, like Chris, and I like even to this day, like I get a fair share of the news. Like I think I get a better worldview, even though, as Chris would say, the algorithm's dialed in. I still see multiple points of view on any given subject, so I do appreciate that. Like Glenn, like I don't like my older kids don't know what they're doing. I would assume it's probably an insane amount. I haven't heard of any cleanses at all. One thing I do know is my oldest was over at the house, and like I walked upstairs and she's like watching TV and then on her phone and her laptop. So I was like, what the hell? I as I was walking down, I walked over and I turned off the TV, and she's like, what'd you do that for? It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're on TikTok and you're on your computer and you have the TV on. I'm like, I don't know what to do here. She's like, I was watching that. I was like, you were not watching it.
Do anyone really have a conversation on the phone anymore? Or is it just used as a asymmetric communication pattern, right? I mean,
it's more like you call someone's like, did you see that message I sent you?
Yeah.
I get
that's what we used to do, right?
Yeah.
So
from my kids, I get FaceTimes all the time. Like, and they get mad at me. They're like, why don't you answer? Because I'm in the grocery store. I don't want to talk on the toilet. They have no social. Yeah, they just do it all the time. So
yeah.
I read something on, again, going back to X, I read something on X that says if you're watching like current TV shows and you think that they've dumbed it down or they're treating the audience like they're stupid, like it's not just you that's noticing that. There is something, I think it's called like second screen phenomenon, where they have to make today's TV shows such that they have to re-explain things a lot, because you have to assume that your audience is on a screen, like they're scrolling TikTok and watching TV just like your daughter, and they have to like re-explain things a lot. And that's why, like, when I watch network TV, we go to commercial break, and then right after the commercial break, like the first like 2 minutes is just summarizing what just happened in the last 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Are you guys, did we talk about the millennial pause yet?
think we talked about it last show with Cody.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good times. My youngest, though, if she had it her way, she'd have all social media, and she has none. So I think we had given her Snapchat, and then that got pulled back pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took Pinterest away from my youngest, when she was in her teens, and it was just making her mean. So
Pinterest?
Yeah.
Isn't Pinterest just like
have
collection
pictures,
things?
right? Yeah.
Maybe I'm the boomer, but I'm like, isn't this like for like weddings? You just like collect ideas for your weddings. Like, how does Pinterest change?
I don't know. I know it was a hit before the whole TikTok thing, and everyone had moved off of Facebook.
Yeah.
So I think she was using it for ideas, or people were finding a way to actually socially manipulate, what they were buying, what they were seeing, and whatnot. So, but it was making her really mean. She ended up being a really mean girl. So.
Yeah. Well, Australia did implement that ban on social media for kids under 16. I think that's a good move. Like, I would say, without giving away too much, my daughter is under 16, but some of her peers already have smartphones, and those that have smartphones that have unfiltered access to the internet, they just turn into zombies. Like, when they're around people, like, they don't know how to talk to people, and they just sit around on their phone just watching videos. Like, it could be anything. It could be like YouTube makeup videos. It could be TikTok. It can be other social media apps, and they just don't know how to like socialize anymore.
Yeah, go out to dinner. I mean, and go see a family sitting down and see how they interact with each other, or if they're all on their phones, faces and phones. Like, we have a rule, right? No phones at dinner, and I habitually break that. But I get called on the carpet on that a lot. So we try to have that as a standing rule.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I told you guys I was at Universal last week, and some of these lines, like, we went on a day where the longest we ever waited was probably like 20 minutes for a ride. It wasn't that bad, but we would get into a line, and a family of 4, even a family of 6, like the oldest, the parents were maybe in their 40s, the youngest was me, like a 3-year-old. Everyone had their own phone. They're just all on their phone in line, just swiping.
I was on a plane, and sitting across from me was a husband and wife with a kid. And the kid, I think he was probably somewhere between 6 and 7. You're welcome, kids. Just kidding. He was, I don't know, 6 and 10, somewhere in that area. But he was just completely like, he had his backpack, and he was sitting there reading a book and just minding his own business and really polite. And so, when we got up, I was like, hey, I was like really impressed. Like, no iPad in your kid's hand. He just sat there and read a book and was well behaved. And the mom's like, he's just a nerdy kid. And I was like, well, you should still be proud of him. And then I looked over my shoulder, and there's another family, and every kid had an iPad. I was like, oh, I know they heard me. I was like, I know. Yeah, it wasn't even an intentional diss, but I got him good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we stress with our kids too. Like we didn't pull out our phones, and we pull it out when it's appropriate, when it's a really long wait or something, or they've been more than patient, and we're like, all right, we'll reward you with some screen time. I think it has its place, but for this particular family, like, as soon as they got in line, everyone's just death staring at their phones. Like, this is your time to talk. This is your time to bond. Like, you're at this vacation, this family retreat to be together, and then you could have done this at home. You could have just stared at your phones at home together.
Oh yeah, I remember I had a family member before they had kids. She's like, we're not doing iPads and Santa. And I was like, what? You're not doing Santa? She's like, yeah, it's so mean because there's so many kids out there they don't get presents for Christmas. And like nowadays it's just like, I'll be on the phone and be like, oh, so it looks like Santa hit at the house again this year, huh? And I was like, whatever happened to, and like, so I'm talking, and they're like, hey, if you just sit down and listen and say hi to Uncle Brian for 5 minutes, you get more iPad time. I was like, what happened to no screen time? I thought you said you guys were going to do that. So
she realized it was actually the greatest babysitter on earth.
Yeah. Right? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face by a 5-year-old.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, I'm up. You know, you can't plant flowers if you haven't bought any.
Ransomware. Wow.
Can we do something new for 2026?
Yeah, come on, man.
I thought that was hilarious.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
All right, to wrap things up, PlayStation 5's ROM keys were leaked. Samsung got slapped for spying on its customers. Microsoft Teams will start snitching if you're not in the office, and limit your social media this January. That's all we have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast on your favorite podcast listening app. My co-host Brian Deach and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. See you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
237 times.
Have a nice day.